I bought this tool cart from Harbor Freight about 2 years ago, and since then, I guess they consider this Series 1 now, because since then they've came out with a Series 2 cart that they offer in different colors. I've seen blue, black, and red, but I've also seen things where they're going to be selling green and everything else. So I've really considered trying to sell this and buying one, but I figured I might be able to get 100 or so out of this, and then it was going to cost me another 100 to get the Series 2 cart, so I'd be losing 100 on this and spending another 100, so essentially I'd be spending $200. Now granted, I did get a year's use out of this, or 2 years use out of this, but for a year of it set in storage. So what I decided is I'm going to modify this to suit me better, and I think you'll like some of the things and may want to replicate them on your cart if you own this cart, if you don't want to go through with purchasing the Series 2 like I don't. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do here. Bring you over here. First thing I'm going to do is remove this tag. It's just glued on. I've removed it off the big one I got. And what I'm going to attempt to do that I don't like about this, I like about the other ones, is this lid. If you look at it from the side, it's set to the angle. Now I'm not sure why they did this. I want it to set straight up and down, perpendicular to the cart. Now I was looking in here, and this actually has, right here is where the shocks go in. And there's another hole here, and I'm not sure what that hole's for at all. But what I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna take out, if you look down in there, only thing holding it in is a little nylon lock nut. And I could pull that, and I'll find out, what I'm gonna do is find out where this shock will set when I'm perpendicular here. And once I do that, I'm gonna attempt to mark it, and I'm gonna drill a hole here. Now I could just call it, or wherever it sets at. Now I could just call it good there. My lid sets perpendicular, it's how I want it. But I seriously doubt I'll be able to close this lid. Not that I really ever close it, but if I ever want to, I want to be able to. So I don't think the shocks will allow me to close the lid if I just move it, because they're probably set up, they probably don't move back anymore. I definitely don't. It stops right there. That's what's stopping it, and that's what's holding this lid up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where it goes. I'm going to drill a slightly bigger hole, and then what I'm going to do is maybe drill more holes in between and clean out the junk in between to create like a slot. And what the slot will do is when I push it back, it'll fall down into the bigger opening and it'll set. But when I want to close it, I should be able to push back a little bit and pull it, and it should slide in the slots that I create. We'll see how it works. I think it'll work. So I'm going to do that. And once this is removed, I'm going to clean this area. I'm going to clean this whole cart. But I bought some black carbon car wrap. I think it's going to look, I've actually seen this before. I think it's going to look pretty cool. I'm going to put carbon wrap here, and I'm going to line the front of the drawers with carbon wrap so it creates a red and a black accent or whatever it's called. And I'm also going to carbon fiber lid. So first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to clean this up before I do all that, but I'm gonna clean up and get everything. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is I went to Harbor Freight today and I bought a set of these swivel casters, because the thing I don't like the most about this is that only one side has swivel casters. So this side they're locked straight. It's the same thing on this box. This box, you don't move it as much, but this box you should be able to have as much mobility as possible and be able to move it. I should be able to take it, if I want to push it back here where I had it, I should be able to just push it straight in there. To get this out, I actually had to lift it up, pull it, lift it up, and pull it. It's not, and I'm dragging it a lot of times too, so that's not good. So if I put the swivel casters on both sides, I should be able to just stand here and just turn this. Turn it, turn it, turn it. And I should be able to move it anywhere I want. Now they had two different types. I only paid $12 plus tax for the casters. They had a heavy duty set that held $375, and those held $330. So to me, and they were $18 a piece. So to me, it wasn't worth the extra $12 per caster to gain 45 pounds. I think it'll be plenty enough. And what I'm probably gonna do is, I don't like these wheels on here are kind of thin, and I'm looking at those are a lot thicker, so I may just take the wheels off the old ones and put them on this. And from what I've seen, this will bolt right up to the bottom there. If not, I'll make it bolt up. So first things first is I'm gonna set this down and I'm gonna start cleaning this surface area to put this carbon wrap down. And I'm gonna use a little kit I've got here. I'm not very graceful with finishing stuff, but this has got a little squeegee, an X-Acto knife, and a cutter here. And I paid like $14 for that or something, and I paid $20 for the carbon wrap, and I'll use that again, so I won't count that in the cost. So I'll say for $32 more, I think that I'll make this cart into something that I'm happy with, that I won't want to go buy the other cart. So I'm going to get to it. I'm going to remove this and clean this up and clean this area up, and I'll come back once I get the area cleaned and I start laying the car wrap down. I got a heat gun as well. I'm going to make sure there's no wrinkles. I'm going to try to make it look as nice as possible, but we'll get a look at it when we're done. Done with the first part, fixing this, well, remodeling this tool cart, I should say. I just put the carbon fiber on. I wiped it down. I used some alcohol and a rag and just wiped it down the best I could. Now this is by far a professional job, but it looks better, I think. Get you off. Now, like I said, it doesn't look perfect, but you get closer, you can see the carbon fiber. Now, I did have a lot of trouble with the lid. There was some deep scratches on the top, and when I was pushing the air bubbles out, I messed one piece up because of it. It ripped, so I had to be extra careful with the second one. But you can see the red and the black, I think it matches good together. I like it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these casters. I think I'm going to do this part last, the shocks, because that's going to be the hardest part. Casters shouldn't be hard to replace at all. It's the same thing as when you installed it. I'm just going to pull the bolts out, put the new casters in, bolt it down, and that's it. So I probably won't come back to this video until I get this lid all the way open and get this slot cut out there. But as you can see right now, this is where I'm at, and I think it looks a lot better. It looks a lot cooler. I don't know if it's really picking up the carbon or not on the camera, but like when I'm looking at it here, it looks really cool. So we'll come back when we get to the last part of this and get these slots drilled and this lid open, hopefully. So I went to put the casters on, and wouldn't you know it, the cheaper casters, they don't fit on there, and I wasn't gonna drill the holes to make them fit. So I guess I'll just have to buy the more expensive casters. They will fit. Now, I did this. You can see now, lid's standing straight up and down now. Now, I drilled the slot out, or I drilled the holes and cut the slot like I said I was gonna do. But it's not working like I was hoping. It's pushing straight down on it. The lid will not close. So I'm gonna have to cipher on that, figure out a way to make that move. But as for now, I'm done with this. We got the carbon fiber on. I'm gonna buy the casters, and I'll have the swivel casters on it, and it'll be done for now. I'm gonna put some magnets up and some other stuff too at some point. But for now, if you're interested in making your lid stand straight up and down, if you like the Series 2 but don't want to spend the money, and then these are some improvements you can do to try to save you a few dollars. Alright, thanks for watching. We left off before on this car modification. I had bought some casters, but they didn't want to fit, and I didn't want to drill new holes. I was going to, but then I decided not to. I just figured I'd save them and use them for something else. So I went and got the right ones. Now these bolt right on. And I'm just gonna keep these wheels, even though the wheels will be mismatched. I'm still just gonna keep these wheels on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide my jack over. And I'm just gonna jack this up a little bit. Take them off one at a time. I'm gonna take them off one at a time. I'm gonna lock one of these wheels here, keep it from wanting to roll. And I'm just gonna do them one at a time. It's the same thing as when you put this thing together. You need to get underneath this black foam that came with it. That's another thing I'm gonna do too, is I'm gonna put some better foam down, because this foam is garbage. I couldn't remember what that was. So I got that. Put this over here. And I also picked this up today. It's a side tray. Now I called it, I guess this was a display model, and I called it for $17.98, and then I used the 25% off coupon, so I got a side tray for like 12 bucks. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to put that on this side right here and switch these casters over real quick. Let's see if I can. These are 1/2 inch, 13 fits kind of sloppy. Yeah, 1/2 inch.
got them both on. Now, it's going to be easier when you're doing this if you just have the jack, the tool cart raised up just enough to get the roll, or to get the caster underneath there. Just a little bit higher, because when you put this together, you probably obviously had it upside down. It was a lot easier, but to have to hold the caster up and hold this down and put the nut on, it's a little challenging. So if you lower it down to where you can just slide it up in there, slide it there, and then the bolt's going to rest. You can just have the caster rest on the ground, and there'll be enough bolt for you to get the nut started. So let's lower this down. This out the way. Save these casters here. Do something with them. Now it gives me 4 5-inch casters. They're pretty decent. Set these over here for now. Now, it's nice to have these 4 swivels, especially when you're working with limited space. Now, I can move this thing. Around just like this. Do a circle, keep it in the same spot. Now before, I actually had to I got this locked. Now before, I would have to pull back, push in, like I couldn't get it in this little cubby. Now I can just take it straight to it. A lot better, a lot more mobility. Beautiful. Put this back down. Now, I also got these magnets here. Just gonna put these on here. I haven't decided how I'm gonna attach them quite yet though. Let me raise you up. Now, want to put them on the lid here. I've seen a lot of people do this and I like it. So if I figure what I'll do is I got 4 of them, so I'll probably put like 1 here, 1 here, and then I'll stagger them, 1 here and 1 down lower. However, stagger them, because 2 of them won't fit all the way across, or too long. So I haven't decided how I'm going to attach them. I'd like to use a rivet, but I don't have a rivet gun or anything, and I'm not sure if I have any small bolts and nuts that I can just drill a hole and just put them on like that. So this part will have to wait. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and I can hang up whatever I want, wrenches, screwdrivers, whatnot. Gives me a lot more room. Now I'm gonna grab this side tray. Now, pretty sure they just use your existing bolts here that go into your side. Yeah. So you have to take these. Get you off here for a second. You have to take these nuts off, these bolts, and then there's 2 slots on the back of this, here, 2 on each side, and all you do is just put it up there and then just put these nuts and bolts back in. So we'll get that side tray put on. Got it on. I just had to stand there and hold it like this, use my hips and press it in. Wasn't too hard. There it is. Pretty sturdy too. I mean, you can't beat it for $12. Now I think that's gonna be it for now. I think I'm pretty much done with what I'm going to videotape. Like I said, once I get the magnets on, I think I've turned this into a good tool cart for a good price. I think I've turned it into a awesome tool cart that's nice looking, more functional. The lid and the casters. Now I still haven't figured the lid situation out, how I'm going to shut it. Now I don't never shut this thing anyway, but I want to be able to shut it just in case. So I'm going to have to come up with some type of rail system to slide this. I'm not going to go through moving these. There's just a spot. I mean, I could drill them out and move them, but I really don't want to do it. So anyway, now you can see the whole system here, front and back. May even, at some point, I may even put something back here, some magnets or something. Now total, counting, I think I bought this, when I bought this, I think I got it for like $169. So the new ones, you can get them for like $189. So I got more in one of them total, but I think I paid $15 for the carbon wrap, and I still got some left of that. I didn't even use it all. So I paid $15 for that. I think I paid $30 for the casters, or $34, but I could have got them cheaper if I went back a couple times with the 20% off coupon or whatever. But I seen this and I got $12 in the side tray. So if we don't count the side tray, because that you have to buy that extra. So if we bought that extra, that's $189 and $24 for a side tray. So that puts it at about $209, $214, $213 something. And so I got $169 plus 34. That's $199, $203. So I got $215 in this. The magnets was free. $215, no, $230, counting the carbon wrap. So $230. So I could have probably sold this and got a different one. I would like to have a blue one, but I spent an extra $30, $40, or about $60. And like I said, I mean, to me, this is better than the new one, minus the color. I don't care much for the red, but it's better as far as the casters. I would have had to switch casters. The other one doesn't have 4 swivel casters either. So if I would have wanted to make it as functional as this, I would have had to pay for the casters and put them on the other one. But that's going to be it on this. I hope you guys liked it, and if you got any ideas or whatever, let me know. If you want to comment on this and give me some more ideas, or let me know what you did to yours. All right.